Okay, my name's Zakashi guys, and in this video today we're going to be going through the top 5 best teams of the month. I'm doing this a little late, it's the middle of the month, but we've had a lot of releases. The instant transmission Goku, we've had Zamasu, and also Trunks and Gohan all adding into this month. But there are a lot of good teams, and I had to take some time and actually look at the top 100 ranked players, or also based on what things are being used the most and are actually good. So I'm going to give you guys what I think are the top 5. They're not in order, so the 5th team can be better than the first team, and of course in the comment section feel free to give your own opinion on what you think is best. Let's get into this. Right, so the first team we got here is Future. Future is one of the teams that I didn't expect to be this good, but they are very valuable. I might go as far to say that they are one of the top 2 teams if I was ordering it, but I'm not. But Future definitely a good team here. I don't have a lot of Future pieces though, but every time I come up against Future, especially if they're built defensively, which is what I would advise you do, they are very dangerous. 3 characters I got here, they're the only ones I can use, so I have to go for the Zenkai bus for green. Then sort of hope Trunks is that nice endurance factor, especially with his Zenkai the plat on top, so it makes him super nice. But let's go into the characters that you could also use, and then at the bottom there'll be characters I don't have because I don't have a lot of Future characters, I'm not gonna lie. So make sure everything's on acquired, Sparking Ultra, set the tag to Future, so you can bring up the list of all the Future characters that you can see. If I'm going into the blues sort of hope Trunks that I have at the moment, sort of hope Trunks is going to be very valuable. I said Trunks. Cell and Frieza, I'd advise only if you have high stars, and then the rest of the blues are just not great. In the green section, out of the ones I have, Rose with his plat is very good, and we also have Vegeta blue, who should go without saying. Very nice option there. Then the rest of the greens, just not it. Going into the purples, Vegeta over here can be a good option, and then of course Cell with his Zenkai, that's a very nice addition. Those 2 you can very much consider, but the rest of the purples, not it. Going into yellows, out of the ones that I have, none of them are good, but there's obviously the Goku black, which I'm going to get into at the bottom. And then in the reds, Corrupted Zamasu and potentially Mai at 14 stars, I would say, but Corrupted Zamasu is probably going to be your best bet. Then out of the ones I don't have, which there's a lot actually. So Red Zamasu is very good. Very good. Just make sure you build him defensively, and you need to have some sort of investment on him. So 3 stars might not cook as well, but once you start seeing the 7, so you get all the Z abilities, 6 stars, 7, 8, 9 stars, and all the way up, this guy is super good at breaking combos. He's super good at being offensive power. He will be very underrated to a lot of people, and with that you could make him valuable. Don't listen to the guys that think he's not good. Trust me, that guy is solid. Goku Black Rose, if you build him defensively, he could also be a good layer of defense on your team, support factor. He breaks your combo with his gauge, fills only once I believe, and he has endurance and buff cancellation, which is nice. We obviously got Trunks and Gohan, blue Succession, which is basically just revival, but then you stay as blue because purple, you don't want to stay as purple. I'm not gonna lie, purples are dangerous. It's dangerous running purple. This Trunks as well is very good. His combo breaking ability, I believe he also has endurance. Very good addition to the game right now. Now I didn't speak on them, but this 18 and 17, if you're running them together, they can be very good. But if you're trying to run the 18, you could also run Super 17 on the leader slot or something. You just need to run each other with at least another 17 or 18 accordingly. So if you're using 17, you're going to need an 18 on your team. If you're using 18, you're going to need a 17. That's how they work, their kits. And if you're not running them with the twins, basically, it's not going to work out. So yeah, that's everything for Future. Future, very solid team. Just some guys that you can use, but if I didn't mention them, I wouldn't recommend even giving them a try. Second team we got here is Saiyans. Now, I always mention this when I talk about Saiyans, but you have to be very careful when building Saiyans, because Saiyans, their Z abilities are all over the place. The Saiyans tag is probably one of the most vast tags in the game. So you're going to have Saiyans from Future, you're going to have Saiyans from the movies, you're going to have Saiyans that are Fusion Warriors, and they won't necessarily buff Saiyans. So be very careful about who you're using, pay attention to the Z ability, because even though there are 3 Saiyans that you're going to use that are super powerful, they won't be buffing each other, so your team will overall be weak, and you might wonder why your Saiyans perform less than other people's teams. That's a big factor to note. But here I've got 3. You can see I've gone with Gogeta blue. So it's kind of half Sun family, then half Fusion Warrior at the moment. Then the bench would be accordingly depending on who I want to buff. I've kept the second half more so Sun family, so the leader slot is its own entity. Then the main function of the team, so Gogeta is on the leader slot, and Fusing Super Vegeta, Diamond Goku, I would probably keep the rest Son family based, so that Gamma Goku can also get the buffs, and Gogeta Blue's on the leader, so he'll get everything anyways. But let's get into the options that we've got here. So as you can see, there's a lot, and a lot of these guys are actually complete fodder. But let's get into looking at what we have. So we're going to go into the characters I have first, and at the bottom they'll still be good characters. That's the one that I don't have. We've got in the blues, I would recommend Ultra Super Gogeta if you have his plat. He's also free. If you didn't use any of your diamond coins, you can get him 5 stars, which is 1 normal copy. You got 1000 from the diamond shop, but then out of the whole episodes you can get 2, which is pretty nice. Fusing Super Vegeta's on the boost right now. If you're wondering why he was on my team, at 14 stars he's also a HP buffer for Margin Boost Saga, which is really nice. And then the rest of the blues that I have here are just not great, I'm telling you. Only because Fusing Super Vegeta's on the boost do I use him. Going into the green, we're going into Rose. I mentioned him in the future. We've got Vegito over here. I believe Pycon's on the boost as well. Could be a layer of survivability, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend. He's just alright now because he's on the boost. And then also, if you're running a diamond team specifically, this Goku, don't sleep on him. The diamond team doesn't have options, but this is Saiyans, you know, I'm just putting it out there. He could actually be a very underrated option if you're running a heavy strike team. Then in the purples, you got to be very careful here. I've been mentioning this for the past couple months. We've got G4. G4 is actually a good option for counters, but if he gets caught by any yellow or anybody with a lock-in, so mainly Ultra Margin Vegeta, he can also get one-shotted in a lot of cases. He's going to be a liability on your team, so be very wary when choosing him. But Blue Bros could actually be a good option. They reverse element as well, and that'll be a good help for you. But then the rest of them, maybe this Vegeta, I mentioned him on Future, but he's best if you're actually on Future, so I wouldn't mention him too much on Saiyans. The rest of them are absolute fodder. Going into the yellows, if you have maybe Super Baby 2 at 14 stars, which you probably don't, could be useful. Outside of that, the ones I have here, Gogeta Blue Zenkai here, that one could actually be super good. I've used him a lot. And then outside of that, most of these guys are just not it, man. They're just not it. It's a shame. It's a shame. Going into the reds, it's pretty much the same deal. I'd only recommend Daima Goku, and everybody else is pretty much just not good enough to be an actual contender. Then going into the ones I don't have, which is a lot, God Goku here is amazing with his plat. Amazing. Very good option. One of the best options, in fact. We've got Triku here. If you have him at 9 stars or higher, I'd recommend. Outside of that, definitely not. And even then, he's not one of the better options. Ultra Turler's very good option. Solid, even at 5 stars with his comeback. Can give you a free priority if you use his comeback effectively. Ultra Margin Vegeta, one of the better options. Very solid option. Rose over here that transform, specifically only good on Future, but he could be an option you could run. Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, one of the better options, closest to the best option in the game, literally. And then the new IT Goku over here could also be something of value that you want to use, but he's very skill based. People thought he wouldn't be because he's offensively great, but defensively he can be a large liability. So if you want to go Vanish and Explosive Green and be a rat, he'll be very good. But if you mess that up and he somehow gets hit by like Beast Gohan or something, he'll die pretty fast. And even I've seen God Goku just nuking him, so be wary of that. But that's everything for Saiyans. A lot of options as you can see, and you have to just be wary about the Z abilities. The third team we got here is Hybrid Saiyans. This team has been getting backdoor buffs since the start of the festival, all leading into a Ultra Beast Gohan, and we've also got Trunks and Gohan this 2025 already. So Hybrid Saiyans has a few neat pieces here and there. These are the 3 that I would have because they're the only ones I have that I could use. But let's get into the character list because there's not many options in Hybrid Saiyans. So on the blue, I was using Sort of Hope Trunks, but people have been using Blue Beast. I'm not going to say he's the best or great, but because he's on the boost currently, he could be of somewhat value to you. Going into green, we've got Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the Ultra here that I already mentioned. The rest of them are pretty bad. I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't recommend out of the ones I have anyways. Going into purples, I wouldn't recommend running a purple necessarily, besides from Trunks and Gohan, but you're going to see them down below. But Ultimate Gohan, if you do want to run a purple, he's your best bet. I'm not going to lie. Going into the yellows, Ultra Beast should go without saying. Going into the reds, none of the other yellows are great, by the way. Going into the reds, we've got Super Saiyan 3 Gold Tanks will probably be your best option of a Hybrid Saiyan, but people have been suggesting Red Beast as well. And if you want that support, Pan could be good, but make sure Pan's 14 stars. And then down here, obviously Trunks and Gohan, who I mentioned for the revival, well, Succession, but it's basically revival. And then this Trunks is very good combo breaker. Came out with the IT Goku. If you have him, very good option to be run on your team. But yeah, that's it for Hybrid Saiyans. Not many, but it's a very solid team. The core Ultra Beast I would recommend. The new Trunks I'd recommend. Trunks and Gohan I would recommend. Gotenks I would recommend. Those 4 specifically do crazy work. Trunks here on my team, the Sword of Hope Trunks, very good option. And Ultra Gohan as well can help you out, especially Last Stand. That guy is nice. The 4th team we got here is God Ki. God Ki here is very interesting, but it's pretty much just future. But some pieces you can make it not future at all. It's pretty much just God Ki. Now what I want to point out for 2 specific characters, Vegito Blue there, he's not God Ki until he transforms. So that's important to note, because if you're trying to put certain equips on him, the effects won't apply until he transforms. Also with Zenkai buffs, I don't think there's anybody that does God Ki, but just in case. With Yellow Rose as well, depending on who you're using, if you want to Zenkai buff him with a God Ki Zenkai buff or a Z ability that's a God Ki, he will only get that once he's transformed if he's not on the leader slot. So bear that in mind for the guys that are not transformed, specifically Vegito Blue, who's good, and also Goku Black Rose, who's also decent. These guys here, Gogeta Blue and Blue Bros, you know, they got their Zenkai Plat. Gogeta Blue doesn't have a Plat. Blue Bros does have a Plat, but he recently got a Zenkai. Those 2 guys. But let's get into the other options. So if we go to the character list, again, the filter you guys know. Looking at the blues that I have, the blues are just not it, man. Going into the greens that I have, out of the ones that I have, Goku Black Rose is the best option. The purples, we've got Blue Bros and we've got this Blue Vegeta. Those guys would be your best 2. Then going into the yellows, Gogeta Blue is going to be your best man. The reds, I wouldn't recommend any reds beside Corrupted Zamasu. Shin could be a good weaker option, but if we get into the ones I don't have, God Goku and Red Zamasu here are insane. People use them in and out and they will get you results. God Goku especially, Zamasu is very good, but just make sure to build him defensively. I mentioned that earlier in the video. But then Gogeta Blue I've been using a lot. And then of course the non-transformed guys, Vegito Blue and then Rose will all help to form God Ki, which is a very solid team. So yeah, just bear in mind everything I told you. I know there's not a lot of characters, but the team is very fixed and very good. The last team we have here is Son Family. Son Family, mix of Gokus and Gohans, makes a very dangerous team. These 3 here, using Super Vegito strictly because he's on the boost, and at 14 stars he's a HP buffer, so Beast is getting HP buffed right here. Diamond Goku, people have been using him because he's a sniper, very good option just in general, and Ultra Beast should speak for himself. Let's get into the other options that we've got though. So if you go into the character list, there's a lot of options here and a lot of them are actually fodder, but let's get into the ones that I have first, then I'll show you the ones that I don't have that are also good. So in the blue section here, Blue Beast Gohan, I've been mentioning him because he's on the boost. Fusing Super Vegeta, I already know. I already told you guys what I think about him, sorry. Going into the greens over here, Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan can work out. To your surprise, if you have this Diamond Goku 14 stars, he can do good strike damage, but that's about it. And out of the other greens that I have, I wouldn't exactly recommend. Going into the purples, we've got Ultimate Gohan and Blue Bros. Everybody else is pretty much fodder, wouldn't recommend. Going into the yellows, Ultra Beast Gohan is going to be your best man. Then outside of that, I wouldn't recommend. Going into the reds, we've got Diamond Goku of course, but then Pan is also there and Red Beast you could use. But then now we need to go into the characters I don't have, which there's a lot that are actually good. So we've got God Goku, one of the better options actually with his plat. The damage he can output is insane and he has good survivability, which is insane. Going into Triku, 9 stars or above can be super good, very valuable. Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Goku, sorry, one of the best options in the game, period. If you have him, use him. He's very good. Trunks and Gohan here with a survivability factor, succession, but it's basically revival. Very good, and 2 elements there. And then we've got the instant transmission Goku, liability on defense, but offensively super good, especially if you invest stars into him, will give you results. Just be wary of the element factor, but does have that lock-in for the greens that are great. The guy I spoke about. So yeah, this is what we have for Son Family. Very solid team. It's always Son Family Ball Legends for the most part, Gohans, and then, you know, the Synchro stuff, you get good units as well. But in general, Daima coming through, we're going to get a lot of good Gokus, good Gokus. Alright, so we've got the Diamond team has the honorable mention. I usually put multiple honorable mentions, and there are some that I could mention, but I'm not going to bother. I specifically want to highlight Daima just for early doors mentions. This is the Diamond team that I've been using. You see with Android 13 there. If you have Glorio, just put him instead of that guy. But I'm putting him there for the strike damage that goes for red and green. You can see the red and green. And there's also a HP buffer, which is the Kakarot Goku, and a Zenkai buffer, which is the Kakarot Goku, but another Zenkai buffer for the free-to-play Goku. And then we got Tamagami 3 on the leader slot. This is a very fixed team, and there's not many options, but I've been using this team consistently, and I can compete with every team in the game because of Tamagami 3's tanking. Daima Goku, the Super Saiyan 1, he gets survivability if rushed, buff cancels buffs, and also can snipe with his blue card, which is guaranteed damage. And the green one gets Covenant very easily and can output a lot of strike damage with the damage stacks. Overall, a very solid team, but more so pushing because this is going to be probably the best team in a couple months down the line, if not next month. I can almost put so much on that. I wouldn't put my life on it, and I'm not putting you guys' souls on it, but I think it's going to be one of, if not the best team in the game. So I'm mentioning it in advance as an honorable mention because with so little options, they can compete as the best team in the game. But again, if you have Glorio, please put him over Android 13, and the team will get a HP buffer. That's what Glorio's value is. You don't necessarily have to use him, but as a HP buffer, that's super good for the rest of the guys above. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. I tried my best to give you guys the best teams of the month. I went through the ranked PvP list and looked at what people were using, and it consisted of mostly this. But let me know if you disagree or agree with what I've put in this video, and hopefully this video was helpful too. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.